not people who actually do it. That's
So what are we saying?
story of my life.
If I said to you, "Can you beatbox an intro, Alex?" What would you do?
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Just do it now. Do it now.
Okay. I would go.
It's not coming through on the mic very well.
Yeah, you know, he's cutting it out.
It's not very good.
It's not good.
Stay close to the mic, you.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the VR CruCast. How you doing? We got to sing happy birthday to Brandon VR.
We're never singing again. We've done it once.
It was fun. Who did we sing that for? I don't even remember. We did sing happy birthday.
It was a latency mess.
Was it D? Was it? I think it was D.
Do we need like a countdown or something?
No.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Does anyone else just want to do it on their own?
Actually, I think as soon as we did it, we said, let's never do that again.
Oh, I've got the benefits of having a bad memory. Well, happy birthday to Brandon VR and Spry Guy. Thank you for joining us.
And Spry Guy.
Yeah, and Spry Guy.
That's right.
Naturally.
Can't forget Spry. He's like 500 years old by now. His birthday every couple of weeks.
Dude, we got to meet Brandon VR at CES this year, and it was really cool.
Yeah, it was rad.
I was way more excited than he was. I was like, whoa, Brandon VR, oh my God. And he's just cool as a cucumber.
I really believe that, Alex. I absolutely believe that.
Yeah, it's for real.
Clothed fireworks. Thank you to Q Creator for the $10 donation. What's the chance of UEVR for Mac? I haven't got a fucking clue. Anyone know how to answer that?
Skiva might have an idea.
Well, I mean,
who uses a Mac for gaming anyway?
No, I was under the impression that Steam VR removed Mac support. Is that not
really?
Really? Wow.
Yeah, is that not a thing? I thought it was. I didn't.
They did remove it. You have to remember when they had support for Steam VR on Mac, it was for the old x64 Intel based Macs.
Oh yeah.
And now all of them are on ARM, so that would require a lot more changes to make it work. So yeah, no support.
I'm assuming there's not enough demand then, because
not many people even use it. Even when it was on Intel Macs. So yeah, it was only really supported officially for one iMac Pro that came out like in 2017. That was like a super beefed up one, but it was like $4,000 or something. So yeah.
Man, well, that's a kick in the teeth for all the Mac people. Sorry about that.
No UEVR for you. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have time to play games anyway.
They're working too hard.
That's right.
Productivity.
They're working. They're working. They're looking,
UEVR on a Vision Pro with the controller though.
they're looking forward. That's what I mean. They're looking forward to putting their
that would have
Apple
been
Vision
cool.
Pro on, and then just not having to look at the desktop anymore, and they can just have the screen wherever they want it. I'm not sure, Brad. If I don't know where I am with this Apple Vision, man. The more and more I hear about it, the more I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna absolutely be able to use this thing. But anyway, let's get into this. Let's do some introductions. First up, we've got Alex VR and Skiva from Between Realities. How you doing, fellas?
Yo,
Yo,
we're doing really good. We're doing some stuff behind the scenes to prepare for Between Realities season 8.
Nice.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, how the hell, man? It's amazing. Well, anyway, yeah, we're making that stuff happen. Skiva's doing some cool clip stuff. He made some awesome clips that I guess we'll be sharing. I hope we're going to be sharing. I don't know. I really like them.
Yeah,
so.
I put one short up today, our first short on the
Oh,
Between
no shit.
page. Yeah, there's one on there today, and I'll throw some up there randomly. And yesterday, actually, I was in OBS kind of tweaking things for season 8 and getting ready. So it's almost here.
Cool. I love it. Yeah, so we're doing good.
Nice. Can you and the Synapse hoodie? You said it had a really cool feature that I didn't know about.
In what?
The secret.
The Synapse
hoodie,
hoodie.
man. The hoodie. He's trying to.
Oh,
give up your
yeah,
secret.
dude. Oh, yeah. So this is great. I am wearing an incredible hoodie right now for the audio listeners who can't see, from Synapse, the amazing PlayStation VR exclusive with amazing eye tracking features that I love.
Yes.
And inside of the hoodie, on every hoodie, like standard issue hoodies, right? You have this like joint pocket that hangs in the front of the hoodie.
You can
that
touch
kind
your
of
own
slide
hand through it, yeah?
Yeah, you put your hands into
Yeah,
it. It's nice and cozy. Within this pouch is a separate vertical inside the pouch. It's like pouchception within this hoodie. And my folded Galaxy Z Flip 4 fits perfectly into this little vertical pouchy in there.
You know who else has a
Jeez.
vertical pouch?
My mom. She does.
Yeah, she does.
Oh,
Yes.
I want to know, Alex. Did you find the hidden pouch within the extra pouch?
It's
in there, man. It's a horizontal one inside the vertical one. You just gotta find it, bro.
Oh my god, that feels amazing.
Oh boy.
Oh,
take that out of your vertical pouch, young man.
Fingers can you get in that vertical pouch, Alex?
Good lord. Next up, we got Sadly Spradley. How you doing, fella?
I'm really sleepy, so I'm sorry if I say something completely stupid today. Even though I usually say stupid stuff all the time. But yeah, it's like really cold outside right now. And I notice when it's really cold outside, it's cold in my room, which means I tend to spend even more degenerate amounts of hours in VR chat. And yeah,
is that what happened? You're up
That's
till
what happened.
7 a.m.
Yeah, I was like up. The past few days, I've been doing like almost all nighters in VR chat. So
Nice.
yeah,
Is there?
that's why
What's
I'm trying
your,
to
like-
move up. I'm trying to move up north. I'm trying to get out of here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
What?
Eric, but I'm trying to
What?
get out of here.
How dare you? I just got you. Is it because of me? Is you're like, oh, Mash is here. I gotta leave now? Is that what it is?
I appreciate you bringing in the cold, but it's not gonna last that long. And I
Seriously, I think I broke Florida. I don't understand. It's almost as cold here as it is in New York. And I mean, I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
it's awesome. I love it.
Brad, what's your
Crazy.
like go-to like world or room in VR chat? Like if I wanted to pop in today, like what should I go see?
Not the adult ones, like what the other ones.
Yeah, not those.
No. That's funny. I like audio orbs a lot for like just chilling around. It's a PCVR only world. You put music or videos in the player, and it like has just tons of cool effects, and you can grab the orbs and throw them around, and you can like do like jet set radio sliding on rails around the world and stuff. It's just like that's kind of like my favorite.
Jet Set Radio in VR chat is absolutely insanely good.
Oh, good.
That is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, that's just something else, man. Like when I saw that, I went in there, it just blew my mind, like how this guy made it.
I was still like 3 hours in there when I went in there by accident. I was like, oh yeah, let's check this out. 3 hours later, I'm like, wait, what? What time is it? Oh my god.
It's very clever. It's very clever. Next up, they've come back from their hibernation. Virtual Strangers, Wes and Roots. How you doing, boys?
Good. Although I will say that I am still kind of hibernating. Like we're back, but I'm not all here yet. We're trying to get warmed back up and used to doing this sort of thing again. But yes, we're back. Thank you. Roots, do we need to put a season number on it like Skiva and Alex do? Like what's our
I don't-
season now?
5 million. I don't know. I guess we've got a lot of seasons, right? It would be every year. So it'd be like 4 maybe.
So 2023 show will be our 5th annual award show. So I guess this would
Wow.
be season 6 then, right? Season
Right.
6.
Jeez,
love it.
boys.
Lucky number 6.
You are the second VR podcast. No. Yeah, there was 3 that I used to like. I would say like up to 4 years ago I'd watch, and you were one of the 3. There wasn't many. There just wasn't, back in the
Because
day.
everybody else sucks. I mean, CruCast is good.
Thank you.
Virtual Strangers is good. Between Realities is good. I mean, what else is there?
What the fuck?
Well, yeah.
Oh, Q2C, yeah.
I'm coming through this goddamn
yeah.
screen in a minute.
I count. Well, to be honest, I count your stuff as our stuff too.
That's true.
Oh,
Hey,
so
Whatever.
That's nice. I appreciate
Whatever.
That's a good cover.
Aw.
Todd's at home going, what the hell?
Oh, who's Todd?
That's
What's
funny.
up, Todd?
That is funny. This is an inside joke, but I forgot
That
about
is
that.
funny.
That's funny. Yeah.
that's a roast. And last but definitely not
That's a
least is Eric from QCC VR Gamer. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing awesome, man. And we don't have seasons because we never fucking stop. We have never broken for more than like a week or two. So we can't put seasons on it. We're at 200 or episode like 120 something, 21.
You used to go live a lot more though, didn't you? You don't go.
Well,
you-
I mean, I used to never miss, like, no matter what. Like the
Yeah.
first CES I went to, I remember leaving like parties to go back to my hotel room to go live and do the show. It was a big thing with me in the beginning. I'm like, I never want to miss a week, no matter what. And I think when you start out, it's important because you got to be consistent, week in and week out. I think that's important. But after a while, you just can't do it. Like life comes up, and like I went like almost a year, probably a year and a half without missing a Thursday. Maybe like not missing a week. Sometimes we push it to a Friday or something like that. But yeah, I mean, you guys know it's just too hard. I mean, eventually it gets to you when you can't do it. Like, so now we're just way more, open to the fact of maybe we should do season breaks. Be like Between Realities.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Take a break,
That's right.
man, for real. We try not to miss weeks during the season, but then you gotta take a break sometimes.
Well, you just like you travel and stuff. Like life happens. It's like, okay, well, like when we book the shows, for example, like we always have a guest on Between Realities, so we do them every Fridays, and it's like, okay, cool. Well, every single Friday for the next 5 months is covered now. Like doesn't matter if the wife wants to go, on a thing or whatever. Like it doesn't like that's a lot of Fridays in a row, like for months. So, sometimes things happen and, we have to push stuff around, and it just is what it is. And great, I'm grateful for the VR community because everybody's cool and everybody gets it. And nobody's ever given us a hard time about how often we go live or anything like that. So I think it's all gravy, right? The intention's the most important thing.
Absolutely, son. Absolutely.
Oh, I will say that getting things done. Jay Dunn and Joy Rain say there are a couple other really great podcasts out there.
There's a lot of good.
Yeah.
I was going to
And
say
I will-
there is a lot. Yeah.
I will announce this week too. I am going to have as guests on my show this week, Jay Dunn and Joy Rain.
No
Hey.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, that's the first time I put it out there. But yeah, this week we'll have the hopefully thumbnail coming up soon, and yeah, I can't wait to have them on. They're probably two of the most they will just make you smile. If you've ever been in a room with them, they will
Yeah.
make you smile.
They've got
They're-
good
they're
energy.
Those
Yeah.
type of people.
Really
Yeah,
good
exactly. That's a
energy.
great word for it. Yep.
Yeah.
Impeccable vibes.
When I met them, I was like it does come across on the screen, but it's a lot nicer in person.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, they're fantastic people. They genuinely are, and they love VR and they love the community, and they're really good at what they do, man. Every time I watch one of the things, I'm like, I grab my Quest like right away. They really they're just good. I really love those guys.
Yeah.
Nice. And actually, last but not least, I always forget to say who I am. I am GT from Gamertag VR. Thank you to Trucker Mike for the £5 donation. He didn't write anything, so thanks, dude. Really appreciate that. Michael Grant, $2 donation. Hope you get that special bag, Brad. You got a special bag.
Special bag.
You
He's
didn't- you
talking
didn't-
about
you shared it.
so Anyone who goes to the Apple Store to get their Vision Pro launch day, Apple's handing out commemorative bags, just like they did with the original iPhone launch.
Nice.
They better be very special bags, you know, for you guys.
I've heard they're very large and special.
Oh,
yes.
that sounds
nice. I can't wait.
Really good. That sounds really good. And hope for G. I can't read the whole name. It doesn't show me the whole name. I can't expand it.
Hope for Gorilla.
I think, yeah, it does say gorillas. I think, there's a picture of
Hope for Gorilla.
Cool. Thank you ever so much for gifting 10 VR CruCast memberships.
Wow. Is Don in there?
I don't know. I don't think he's ever coming back, man.
He's coming back. Don't say that.
Was he on your
please.
show as well? That's why I asked you.
No, he's never made. I was waiting. I've been waiting for him to come. He's never made. Come on, Don. Come on
he's
over.
here. He's here. He just doesn't want to say.
He's here in spirit. You can feel him.
Alex called him out and said,
"Yeah, Alex, I can't believe you did that, dude."
What can I say? I'm an absolute dick.
And thank you to Paradise Decay for the £2 donation. You know who else is in season?
My mom.
There you go. I should have probably read that earlier.
That was actually a good one.
Yes.
Good job, PD. Good job, PD.
So let's talk Apple Vision Pro, because literally I could see people. There was two things that people wanted to mute on Twitter this week. There was Apple Vision Pro and Palworld. I think are the two things that everyone seems to be talking about, and I have no interest in Palworld personally. But I do.
None?
What do you have against Pokemon? With guns?
I don't give a shit about Pokemon.
With guns, though.
No. Well, yeah.
That sounds like me.
In VR.
It doesn't mean anything. Like, I don't. It doesn't matter how many ways you say these three things in what order. It wouldn't actually make me think, oh yeah, I'm going to play this
VR
game.
and Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm just not interested. But yeah, I'm really pleased that people are loving it, and more importantly, they're enjoying it with UEVR. You know, I hope creators aren't just like, oh, this is a trending thing. I hope they're actually enjoying it. Because it must be. That's what the magic of UEVR is, isn't it? Is going into these amazing games that you love, and just experiencing them in a whole new way. And before I get onto Apple Vision Pro, Brad, because you might not leave soon or fall asleep or something. Roots, talk to me about UEVR, man. Is it everything that you wanted?
It is everything that I wanted, and I need to get back. Actually, my thing is everything that you guys were saying about taking a break. I've kind of taken a little break from VR in general for just a couple weeks because I've just been getting burnt out, and I'm ready to jump back in. But I want to go into this Palworld. You know, like I'm not a big Pokemon person, but I've been watching some videos, and it looks pretty the world looks huge and humongous. And Beavis in our Discord said that he's got a private server set up ready for everybody to come on over.
Really?
And so
That would be cool.
So maybe that's how we saw it. I was seeing all those public people in there. Then it must have been a private server. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was worried about UEVR with multiplayer with that, because usually you can get like, you know, banned for doing like
any kind of anti-cheat software.
Yeah.
But
but I was seeing videos with people in there doing multiplayer, so that must be what it is.
How crazy that this game just dropped. It's this big, and people are already in VR. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's huge, and it's got so many eyeballs on it. Like you said, it's all over Twitter, and people are like, probably, I'm assuming, loving the game in general, and then they find out, oh shit, you can go into VR in this. Like, I think it's just one of those moments, and it may not be a Pokemon moment, but it's about as close as we're going to get for a while.
It's two in a row now too, because Lethal Company was the last one.
That is so good in VR. Oh,
there you go,
man.
That's the secret of UEVR. Like right now, we're enjoying all these older games, but you're going to have games that just drop now, or in a month from now, or 2 weeks from now, then anytime in the future, that are automatically almost going to work, as soon as they get a decent profile going. So that's the beauty of it now. It's not just the old games; it's the new game.
Well, I mean that's what happened with Palworld. Palworld is brand new, and everyone's in it in VR already. And I want to say it's not just like Pokemon. So my friends have been playing it nonstop, and it's very much like multiplayer The Legend of Zelda.
What?
Well,
nice.
It looks
my
like
fucking head nearly fell off then. What did you say?
Looks like to me, it looks like they mashed like 5 badass games together, and it just looks really cool.
Fuck. No,
yeah, I mean, I've heard like Fortnite, like
I'll accept Fortnite. I'll accept that.
Pokemon and what was the other thing somebody else said?
Don't say
Yeah.
Zelda. No chance.
There's a lot of things that are very, very similar to a Zelda game. So to me, it's more like Pokemon had a baby with The Legend of Zelda, and it's multiplayer. It's pretty cool. It's kind of weird, right? Because you go into these extravagant dungeons and stuff, and it's, you see really colorful, animals and weird looking Pokemon. But at the same time, it's super in depth, and the map is huge, and there's so much to do, and there's building, and I mean, it is a absolutely massive and very deep game. Everyone's loving it. So
Substack said it's got everything: Minecraft, Gorilla Tag, and Roblox. Mario, Zelda Brothers. Yeah.
The perspective that I'm currently thinking about this from is like you said, like Palworld right now is like on fire on social media.
Yeah, it is.
And we're like always waiting for like these like proper IPs to come along that are like built from the ground up for VR to like catch hold and like be viral and like get millions of eyeballs on it and have people say like, oh, holy shit, actually that looks really cool. Maybe I do want to wear a headset and play this, or try this game or try VR or whatever. And now with the UE VR injector, people getting Palworld up and running in VR the day it comes out, like you got people like Genghis who are on top of that shit, who are like making reels, boom, and throwing it out into the universe, and like it's trending, Palworld is hugely trending. So to be able to like show what you can do in VR right now while all of these like trending games start coming out is huge.
Yeah,
absolutely huge, because people are going to see Genghis in the VR smacking the sheep with a fucking stick and being like, holy crap, she's in the world. I want to go in that world. So I think it's a big opportunity with games like this, when you see them go into VR right away, for content creators to not only get more of an audience, but to put VR in front of more like true gamers and maybe get them to come and check it out.
Yeah, shout out to Paradise Decay too, because he's been on it as well. Every time a new game comes out like this, it's like, wow, PD already did a video. That's crazy.
Yep. PD did it.
Yep.
Do we need to get that as a slogan? PD did it.
PD did it.
PD did it.
Yes, we had a super chat in there, GT, from Mahina.
Oh,
we have Palworld Don't Hate with a 269. Is that Swedish?
She's paid me not to hate.
Yeah, that's true. You can't hate now. It's actually got really good reviews, and people are loving it. And I'm really curious to see what Nintendo's going to do. Like Nintendo's got like 3 or 4 fires out there that they're so crazy about, anybody doing anything that's close to their IPs. I want to know what they're going to do with this.
And
right?
people are modding this, and I literally saw a Pokemon mod for Palworld already.
I saw that today.
It looks insane. Like the models of the Pokemon are completely legit, and it's like Ash Ketchum running around in there, like crazy.
I literally, I nearly messed up. I did mess up, and then I fixed the mess. There was a program called Citra VR that came to Quest. So basically you can play, it is on PC and you can do it in VR already with your PC, but now you can play 3DS games natively on a Quest. And I think the games, if they run, not all of them run very well, but when they do run very well, they look incredible because they're like upscaled. They just look gorgeous. And everything works. You got the bottom screen, you can use your touch controllers. It's just a fantastic program. But anyway, Muggins here thought it'd be a great idea to make a how-to Citra VR video, right? Link everyone to where I got my ROMs. So I literally, basically I did the video, right? It was like 4 or 5 minutes of gameplay. And then the last 3 minutes were like, right, now I'm going to tell you how not to do this. Where not to go, blah, 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 blah. I did this. And I thought that'd be fine. I'm telling everyone what not to do. And then someone else was like, dude, Nintendo lawyers are not going to fucking let that fly. And I was like, and then I literally did a quick Google and I was like, fuck that. Like, I'm not being involved in that shit.
You don't want to mess around with those guys. They don't play.
Yeah. So I edited a live video, which is something I don't usually do in that way.
Just even the strike's not worth it though, right?
Not at all, man.
Even if it's just through YouTube, I mean, a strike can be
not at all. I could spread the word just as easy on Twitter, really. But what was I going to say? How amazing though! Like that's 2 really cool things that are happening at the moment. I think, just in VR, everyone talks about VR being not very good. And
it's cool because it's all this is unofficial stuff. This is all community stuff, right? This isn't any like official project from Meta or Sony. People are just doing it ourselves now.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. It's great that we've gotten to that point now that we don't need them anymore. I mean, we can just go
we don't
on
need you.
We don't need your
we can go
favors.
on our own. We'll
It
just
is
play
really
flat
crazy.
Games. We'll just play flat games. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's actually insane. Like I remember being a kid and growing up and like being a gamer and like hearing, you know, like these like, I don't know, what do they call them? Like urban legend tales and stuff of like codes in games that didn't, you know, like the nude code in Mortal Kombat, or, you know, like some like weird multiplayer function in Super Mario 64 that you have to do certain things to unlock. And like before the age of like verifying that kind of information on the internet, there was a lot of like tales that got spread around. And you know, I would hear about crazy stuff. And now, like with what people are able to do, like I'm seeing people do stuff that like we like told like old wives' tales and shit about back in the day. Like today I saw somebody who modded Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic 2, to have player 2 use a light gun to collect rings and shoot enemies.
Oh, I saw that.
That's crazy.
It blew my mind. I was like, what the fuck? Oh my
seen
God.
that.
Like that would be something that like if you told me was possible as a kid, I would have just written you off. I would have been like, nope, what? Oh my God. Like, yeah, right, dude, you know, whatever. And like now, like it's coming to fruition. Like people have like dreams and brain children of these projects, and they just do it, and it's amazing.
So there's something else that I need to talk about quickly. It's on PC only though, and it's called Arcade Time Capsule.
Yeah.
Heard about this one already?
Yeah, it looks cool. I haven't done it yet, but I've seen a couple videos. It looks cool.
I went
I've
into
installed it and haven't played it yet, but dang man, it looks so good. I'm stoked.
I know.
I'm like a huge arcade nut right now too. So
Yeah.
What is it?
Right up my alley.
So basically, it's like a virtual building with 6 floors, and on every floor, it's just full of arcade machines.
Oh, wow.
And as long as you install the correct ROMs, which I think are MAME something or other, you can go through and just play these arcade games. The only catch for me at the moment is, one, it's got teleport movement only, and 2, you have to use a controller, which is fine. To be fair, it's not a, you know, those things are going to get updated as he cracks on. This is literally a passion project, but it's how beautiful it is. The arcade machines, the detail. There's like 80s and 90s music going on in the background, and it just, if you ever went into an arcade when you were younger, like just those sounds are intoxicating. You're like getting there and you're like, fucking hell, this is really cool. It's very cool. It's very cool. So yeah.
I heard it was by the same guy who did, remember that old Steam game where you could build your own arcade? And there was like a neon update, and it was really, really good.
I was chatting to him today. I didn't know he was the creator, so we were DMing, and then he was like, "Can you unblock me on Twitter?" And I was like,
"Oh no!"
I was like, "Why have I blocked you?"
Whoops.
And that was another conversation in itself.
Man,
but what did he say? He did say to me that he'd Enran. No, I'm not sure. But he's literally learned Unreal Blender, Substance Painter, C++, and all this stuff or something, just to do this thing for the community. And it's like what Wes was saying. Like, this is all just powered by passion. So cool. It's so cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love arcade games. I love retro stuff. So I am stoked. I have it installed. It's ready to go. I can't wait to play it.
You know, quick shout out to Killer Queen. If you ever go into an arcade and you see Killer Queen there,
we played it. You made me
gather
play
10 people and play that shit. Like, it is like, you know, there hasn't been like a lot of like advancements in arcade cabinets over the years. You know, like you go into an arcade, it's like the same Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet that was there when you were a kid, you know, which I'm not complaining about. I love that. But Killer Queen is a 10-player arcade cabinet game where it's like a kind of like a mixture between Joust and like a PvP title with teams. And anyway, really badass. That's all I'm going to say about it. Killer Queen, play it. It's good.
There you have it. Thank you from Snowsode for the £1.50 donation. He sent us a burger, so thank you ever so much. And right now let's unleash Bradley on the world. Let's talk Apple Vision Pro? Because I heard that you were very excited.
Yeah. Let me just say first before he even goes. Yeah, Brad was on my show last week, and literally when in the pre-show, when before we went live, I don't think I've ever seen him this giddy.
Wow.
Yeah. That was the eve of the pre-order. And Brad, you stayed up all night, right?
Yeah, I stayed up in VR chat all night that night, telling people, "Hey, I want to be in VR while I'm pre-ordering this thing. That'd be pretty funny."
Nice. That's
And I
sick.
did. There's something wrong with me clearly, but I did it, and yeah, I am very excited. I've always wanted companies to push that barrier of hardware and software using that hardware experience. I wanted that so badly with the Quest Pro, but that did not really pan out the way I thought it would go. And I think with Apple's probably the only company I think could get away with this more than any other company on the planet. And it's happening the way I want it to go. And of course, I am very happy to be one of the people to pre-order it, because it just feels like, I've been doing this for so long, and a lot of the technologies I want to come into XR hardware is happening, and it's all thanks to Apple with this device. So yes, I am very excited to see how they do with it.
You're mostly correct about that, but this device is not an XR device. It's a spatial computing device, and you need to get it right.
Eric,
insistent.
Eric, you haven't paid the electricity bill, son. It's gone out.
Did my lights go off?
Oh man.
Oh, my camera went to sleep. Hang on.
Yeah,
Dude,
so
I gotta be honest. I was taken aback on Twitter when I saw all of the screenshots of the pre-orders. I was like, "Oh, my
yeah,
God."
that's
Like,
crazy.
So many people ordered it. Like, and it's just like really expensive. You know what I mean?
I've heard rumors. I don't know if the numbers are right, but I heard 180,000 were ordered right at the bat. And I can tell you this: I was in the Apple store ordering.
Fuck off, 180,000.
180,000. Yep. And I was in the Apple store ordering at 8 a.m. when it went live. And literally, the guy was putting the order in, and my order had gone from February 2nd to March 8th to the 15th in minutes. That's because what they did was they sold through whatever they had immediately that was going to be available for February 2nd in minutes. And then everybody else after got pushed to March 8th to the 15th.
The thing is, that sort of number probably isn't particularly amazing when it comes to electronics, but it is when it costs that much.
And like for me, like I can imagine if like you are Brad, or if you're
you
Eric
got to let him
Lasher,
speak.
like
Bless him. He's gone.
It makes
about
sense,
6 times like that, and he's gone back again.
Do it.
He's gagging. He's gagging.
I'm sorry. No, I don't want to. Well, it's like the Quest Pro. That was apparently its lifetime sales that's been on the market. It's like around 180. So they sold that at double the price of launch. Actually, more than double the price of that launch of that product in its first day, and it's US only.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good start. Obviously, that might taper off as like the enthusiast crowd gets down, but apparently Apple's pushing to release into more countries. Like apparently they're targeting Canada and China as and UK as the next big countries. Woo! They want to launch it in. But yeah, again, I'm very happy with where it's going. There is probably a bit of a hype cycle going on for it, and like it will pan off a bit, but it's still a very good start for a product line like this. And again, only Apple could do this.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and like I was just saying, like it makes sense if you have a fucking YouTube channel about VR, like that isn't like, it makes sense because like people want to see this content. It's the hot new thing. Like, let's do that. But that's not 180,000 YouTube channels that bought that headset, like those are like real people who are buying that, right? Like
they're also developers, right? Because this is the very first of an Apple product and the very first of this ecosystem, and everyone wants to develop for this thing, right? Like everyone, because we know Apple's not going to stop. It would be pretty unlikely that they're going to put out a headset and go, that was the only one, never mind, right? So everyone wants to like build apps and see what they can do, and like all of these people that have been made, studios that have made careers out of building for the Apple App Store, right? They're all itching to get their hands on this. So it's an expensive dev kit, mostly that a lot of enthusiasts are buying too. I mean, everyone gets excited for Apple products. So
Yeah, and then
Well,
like
not everybody. Apple,
Well, yeah,
Apple fans get it.
Apple
They
fans,
get it,
yeah.
and they'll
Yeah.
buy anything. They'll buy the next generation, even though it's the exact same phone. So it's it's not a surprise that the numbers are that high. I think it is very impressive, but it's not a surprise to me.
Yeah, and the developer thing is absolutely right. What Skiwa said, like literally, I mean, I can tell you this: I ordered 2 of them. Okay, I ordered one for me, and I ordered one for a developer who was outside of the country who asked me to buy it for them and ship it to them. And this is an OG developer who makes VR games. So for
Yeah.
everybody out there going, well, there's not going to be any VR on here. I can tell you now that several VR developers that we've been speaking to are excited, like openly excited, and going to be looking at what they can do for the device. What that means, I don't know yet because we don't have controllers, but certain things will be available. So there will be VR things available.
Yeah, they need to make money so badly. They need to make money, these developers. They so many games. I don't want to get into investment talk. There's so many games that are powered by investment, and no one really understands what goes on behind the scenes. But I just want to give a quick shout out to John Hibbins in the chat. He is flying with Mike VR Oasis to New York to get an Apple Vision Pro, and then flying back. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I thought it was bad that Jasmine was going to drive an hour to go get hers so she could get it done the first day. I mean, at least she's not flying to a different country.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I get it
Why don't
though.
you just have someone here pick it up for them.
Because there could be a customs issue, and
Yeah, the shipping issue.
Yeah, they're not. I don't think you're allowed to ship them outside of the US, basically, because they're not allowed to be.
If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself.
So-
They need that headset in their hands that day. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
Is that-
they
is
go
that-
with it on the plane?
Is that right, Brad? I saw you was about to say something. Is that true?
Yeah,
You get
there's
shot?
already been reports of like people trying to use freight forwarding services, and like Apple's canceling those orders if they catch that address that they wrote in that order is a freight forwarding service. So
Yeah.
they're being very careful.
So what's the first thing that you want to do, Brad? Let's say, right, I've put it on your head, your lovely head, and I've got it all comfy for you. Got you a little glass of milk or something, whatever you
He's
want.
going to root it. He's going to root it. That's the first thing he's going to do is try to root it. Right, Brad?
that sounds very hard.
Yeah.
But no,
Hard
I've
root.
thought about this, and like I'm basically gonna give it the Quest Pro treatment, whereas basically like I unplug my monitor, I will not use it for an entire month while I have this thing. I will do everything that Apple's marketing it forward, entertainment only, productivity only, shit posting on Twitter only, like all that stuff that you do on your computer. That's what I want to do with it, especially. I found out they added Crunchyroll to native
that
apps.
is fucking awesome.
Yeah. I really wish it like if like I really wish they gave developers access to that little like pass or the reverse pass through display, because then
You
like
change your eyes.
yeah, imagine if like you open Crunchyroll and you boot up like some anime and it like
And you had
puts
the eyes.
the main
Oh,
character's eyes
yeah.
on there. Like that'd be sick, right?
That's
like,
a fucking great
stuff
idea.
that.
That's a great idea.
That's it's gotta happen. You know that's gonna happen, right?
I hope so.
It'd be
That's
perfect.
awesome.
It'd be like just I don't know, just make it more personalized. In fact, speaking of personalization, not really to Apple, but like I saw some people in chat wondering like what is Meta's move gonna be? Like, are they gonna do something? And I've heard that they are pushing forward heavily on their like next Pro product line pretty hard right now, including like stuff related to their codec avatars, like more focused on productizing it. They're also like telling developers that like, hey, they want to start embracing more fantastical avatars rather than just the standard human avatars you got across platform. So Meta's reacting pretty bigly, and they will have an answer to this, just like any company right now that wants to dip their toes back in or get serious about the XR space. A lot of companies are re-interested again, because the most notable thing about the Apple Vision Pro, probably more than anything else, is this is like one of the first hardware in a while that's selling pretty well. That is also making a profit on every unit, which is not something you see very often in this space, unfortunately. So yeah.
There you go. Crazy. I mean, that's
What do
the
you
thing.
think, GT? What are your thoughts on this thing?
The more, do you know, there's things I've seen, and there's takes that, for me personally, obviously Brad, Mike, people I know. They're the opinions I care about because I know they use VR a lot and they're aware of where it's at. You know, Marques Brownlee, I'm not saying he doesn't use VR very often. He obviously dips in to Quest Pro, makes a video, dips into Apple, blah, blah, blah. But for someone like Brad, who literally just told everyone that he's been in VR chat for fucking 4 days, non-stop or whatever. Like, these are the people who have wore indexes. They've wore these headsets for long periods of time. People are saying Apple Vision Pro is heavy. And I think what they should be saying is maybe front heavy more than just heavy. And I believe, is it 600 and something grams? Is it 680?
It varies from 600 to 650, I think they said, depending on strap
yeah,
setup and light seal size.
Right,
Yep.
okay. So yeah, I mean, to me, that is like ballpark normal, almost. A little bit heavier than normal. Nothing.
For us, it will be like a lot. I think a lot of people that are saying it's heavy are probably people that normally don't ever wear a VR headset.
Exactly.
So those people are like, oh my God, this thing's super uncomfortable. But they, go put on a Valve Index or go put on a Quest,
Well,
Quest
no,
Pro.
I mean, that's the thing. People are saying it's heavy, but are they saying, like, I haven't really heard the uncomfortable thing. It's like, I'm not hearing the word, I haven't heard the word uncomfortable once.
I did with the strap on top of the ears. That's the only time I heard it. I didn't hear it with weight. You saw some of the images of like before they were showing the crest of your head strap where it kind of goes across this way. They were showing like how heavy it was and it was like crushing people's ears and people were saying it was uncomfortable. But that's the only thing like for uncomfortable that I've heard.
I've heard a lot of people, just not VR people at Cena, people at like all different kind of media outlets that do not cover VR typically say after 30 minutes they can't wear it anymore. But they're not used to it. You know what I mean? They're not used to these things. A lot of people couldn't wear an index for that long. It starts to hurt your neck, right? A lot of people can't wear a Quest for that long and it's properly weighted. So
How the hell does anyone wear a Pimax then? Because like,
yeah,
Who wears the Pimax?
some people do. Matt, do you know what? Mash made a really. He actually, I am going to review it. I do mean to review it. But Mash put it really well today. He was talking about Pimax or whatever he was doing. He said it. He said this headset isn't for anyone who wants to leap around. It's for people who are just going to sit there in their fucking cockpit and do whatever. And as soon as he said that, I kind of thought, yeah, like I get it. Like I've just got it. I didn't get it before that. So yeah, Mash, you know, kind of gave me
sense.
Oh boy, did I do something good for Pimax?
You didn't sell it. You made me understand.
He's got one on the way.
I've got one behind me there.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So also just to put this like this weight thing into like some relative terms, we're looking at around 650 grams for the Apple Vision Pro. The Quest 3 is 515 grams.
Yeah, but it's the balance, isn't it? The Quest 3 is fucking awesomely balanced. Yeah.
Well, and the Apple Vision Pro is also designed, or I guess they're selling it as something you're gonna have in your head for several hours. It's replacing your monitor. You know what I mean? It's not a gaming headset. Where a gaming headset, you're gonna put it on, most people, a few hours at a time, maybe an excess of 3 or 4 hours. But like somebody like what Brad says he's going to be doing, and if somebody buys it for that reason, it needs to be comfortable. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I Pimax for me is a no-go. I'm going the Brad way. I want less. I want lighter, sleeker. You know what I mean?
That's always been my interpretation of, or part of the sum of immersion. It's part of what makes it immersive is you go from your world into another world and you don't know that's necessarily, there's a reason for it happening. That's part of it for me. And that's why, as I've said it before, I've said it nearly every fucking time I talk about this headset, that every time I put it on, I struggle to just be unaware of it. I'm so aware of it every time. And I can't get around it. I don't know. And it's really annoying because I know there's a lot of good things about it now. Brad, you were saying there's some sort of software or something they've done to that headset that you wanted to try out. What was it?
Yeah, so there's been this company for a while called AmaLens, and they do basically dynamic optical distortion profiles based on eye tracking. They did it for like the HP Reverb G2 Omnicept. I think they might have done it for another headset. I always forget which one. But they brought it to Pimax Crystal, and Pimax Crystal has a lot of issues related to chromatic aberration and geometric distortion when you move your head and stuff. And using the eye tracking that's built into Pimax Crystal with this software, you can improve a lot of those visuals with that software. So it's a very good idea. It works. I even talked to someone who's usually very critical of AR VR stuff, and they tried it at CES, and they were like, it's like magic. So
Wow.
another reason, by the way, why we need eye tracking in every VR headset, because you can solve a lot of distortions. So
yeah, man. Yeah. When Quest 3 was like coming out and it was like no eye tracking, I was like, really? I really thought that would happen. But yeah,
eye tracking is really important.
Oh.
It is. Just to get back to the weight real quick on headsets, and with this headset, now I have no idea what it's going to feel like. I won't know until it comes out with the Apple Vision Pro, and we'll let you know. Everybody will let you know. But to me, it's not always about how much it weighs; it's how it fits and sits on your head and how well it's balanced. Like, because I've worn heavier headsets that have been more comfortable to me than a lighter headset, just because it was balanced better, or even just the facial interface was more comfortable, or it had a top strap. And this does have a top strap. Like, I see a lot of people saying they need a top strap, but there's no top strap. It comes with a top strap now. They just didn't announce it right away. But in the box, you have a separate strap. It's a completely separate strap than the one that comes on it, and it has a cross strap that will go over the top of your head that will help. So I don't know how comfortable it's going to be or not. We'll let you know that. But again, it's not always about weight for me. Like, I've had a ton of headsets that have been really light that I didn't like. The Pico headset's one of the lightest headsets I've ever worn. To me, the facial interface that comes on it, and even afterwards, I just don't like the way it fits my head. So it just depends.
Yeah. So weight distribution, all that. There's so many factors as well, like you said. Like the Pico 4, for example. Wonderful little headset, really. But damn, that face cushioning is absolutely savage.
Yeah, they made it out of sandpaper, didn't they?
That's what it feels like.
It's incredibly tough. Like, no other headset has actually dug into my cheeks as much as that one. Like that, I'm not saying, I don't know whether I've got prominent cheeks.
Still got marks.
Still got the cheekbones.
This is another thing that Apple's like, like thinking about the sales, day one sales. You basically need an iPhone, like a recent iPhone, just to order the thing, because you had to scan your face just to get a decide. Like, there's like 20, I think there's like 22 different facial gaskets that Apple has for different sizes, mainly due to the depth of your eyes. So you had to scan your face with their Face ID thing, do this little thing with your face, and they would let you order the Vision Pro with your right facial gasket. So that problem you have with Pico, where like they're definitely more focused to Eastern faces compared to Western faces, you don't have that problem. In fact, I even had my wife, who's Chinese, she tried it and she got a way different facial interface number than I did. So another, like, again, one small thing that will, I think, be catching on hopefully pretty soon. Now, I think the worst thing about the comfort for Apple is like, yeah, their default strap is like actually probably going to be worse than like a lot of straps, because like they definitely focused on making it look nice, like the Apple thing, than making that strap very comfortable, which is very unfortunate. At least you can take off the strap and do different ones later on if it really is someone that's going to do it. But I really wish they did nail that, like focus on comfort more than, hey, let's make a super pretty knit band thing.
Someone mods the Vive Deluxe strap on it.
Yeah,
100% that's happening.
I remember with that was that the Quest 2, wasn't it, when that happened? Or the
Quest 1.
Yeah, the Franken Quest.
Everyone went crazy for that. Thank you to Snow Toad for another bit of food. He sent us a hot dog for £1.49. Thank you.
Yeah,
little Costco hot dog for you.
Right, yeah. Thanks, Toad.
Where's the soda? Yeah, the soda.
Right, I've got a question for you. You were just talking about having 22 different facial interfaces that they're going to fit on this thing. So
do you know who else likes to have 20 different facials?
Damn.
Is it my turn now to give a disapproving dad look? So if they're going to have all these different facial interfaces, how are they going to do in-store sales with that? Because like the rep that I was talking to that day, he's like, we will have some available in store for you to buy that you can't pre-order, but we're just going to have them available that day. Like, how are they going to get, like, are they going to have like that many different facial interfaces for every headset they have in store?
Yes,
That's a
they
good
they
question.
literally. I talked to some people. They have a lot of different new tooling, by the way, for the Vision Pro for these kind of processes. Yes, they will scan your face, employees, if you decide to order one, and they will have an employee in the back literally assemble your actual full box kit with the interface with a special machine to do that. So it still looks like sealed and everything. Another cool thing is they have this special machine that if you have eyeglasses, instead of just like giving you their prescription, they'll literally put it through this machine that will scan the prescription through the eyeglasses and then give them a QR code to like go in the back and get the right prescription pairings as well to put in the box. So they are putting a lot of effort into this. Also, another thing is they have a special demoing app that will allow them to have full control of the demo that they're giving to people, be able to give them live hints that they see in the headset and stuff. Like Apple's putting, again, a lot of effort into making sure they do all these things right, which is cool.
That is cool.
It is cool. Chaos has asked, what's a facial? So,
GT.
At a beauty spa, right?
You're not allowed to get mad at us for anything, ever.
dude, it was lined up so well. I couldn't. I was like,
that's what I say all the time. How can I pass it up?
By all means, but next time I see you, with the disappointed dad look, like Mash said, I don't let that slide.
Loves it. You know who loves it when things get lined up?
Yeah, it does.
I actually think the 2020 thing I did was actually really good.
I do. I thought it was great.
It was good. Yeah, we're not talking about how good it was.
I am.
Well,
it was great. You guys finally broke GT. You did it.
I know he's broke.
Proud of yourself.
Yeah, he's like, whatever. If you can't join him.
I have another question for Brad. So with the Apple Vision Pro,
this is Brad's unofficial AMA. Everyone, feel free to.
And I like I said, we had him on last week on the show, but I still have more stuff.
We're here all night.
Because now we know pricing. They said starting at $34.99, and then it's going to go up. We don't know what that means because we didn't know what they weren't telling us what memory they were going to offer. We didn't know what sizes. We didn't know what the price increase was going to be. So I have to say, in my opinion, I was actually pretty surprised that it was as cheap as what it was. Like I was literally thinking, because I had heard that there was a 1 terabyte. A developer had said, kind of leaked to me that there was a 1 terabyte version. I was figuring another $1,000. They were gonna we know memory's cheap, but I really thought they were gonna gouge us on the memory.
I was too. Yeah.
What did you think about the pricing for the memory?
Still ridiculous, but it's Apple. It's very weird. Apple does charge a lot, and usually they do multiples. Like usually it's like $200 for the next tier, then $400 for the tier after that. This time they just went $200 for each tier. So that for Apple, that's like disgustingly kind of them. But still really freaking expensive.
Which one did you go with?
The 1 terabyte model, actually.
Okay. I did the 512. I wish I did the 1 terabyte, and I still might cancel the 512 and get the 1 terabyte, but because I think it's going to be an issue with like the 256. I think it's going to be an issue right away for people because I've heard of some of these apps already that are huge.
Well, let me tell you something. If you're planning on using that headset to capture spatial video, those files are fucking large, man. If there's any kind of quality to it at all, you're going to burn through that storage like quickly.
I know for me, I want to challenge myself because so when I go to events, like if CES wasn't so garbage this year, but like last year CES, I did like all of my recording and editing like on site, right? I didn't wait till I got home. And like I want to do stuff like, hey, I want to challenge myself to record on my iPhone, airdrop all the video files and microphone files to my Vision Pro and edit it in like the iMovie or Final Cut Pro iPad version in the headset and see what I can do. And obviously when you do that kind of stuff, you need 1 terabyte of a spatial computer sort of storage thing. So that's what I'm trying to challenge myself to do. And 256 gigabytes does not sound like a computer to me. I'm sorry. That's like a smartphone when you get to that low. That's not a computer. Get out of here.
Makes you wonder why they're bothering then, if that's really what you think,
Well, because maybe some people just need it as like a media viewing device and have no intentions of loading, filming anything or any of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most people are going to use the cloud services that are intertwined into Apple. They're gonna open their photos. They're gonna look at their videos in there. They're gonna open the the iTunes store, and they're gonna grab videos there that'll stream from the cloud, right? I can't imagine a lot of people, your normal everyday people at least, will be dumping mass files on there, especially with the battery life only lasting X amount of time. I don't know how you're gonna edit a whole lot in there unless
Have you bought
sitting
more
wall outlet.
batteries? Have you bought more batteries?
I didn't see one actually available. Did you, Brad?
They're pretty expensive too.
I didn't actually. They didn't even offer me that.
Yeah, I think they're $200 per battery.
Wow.
Yeah. I just like with my Quest 3, whenever I use it, I usually use it tethered to my wall, actually. So like if I'm really wanting to use this thing long term, that's kind of what I'm gonna do for the most part. Like I don't need that extreme mobility. Like for this kind of headset, it doesn't seem like they're even pushing extreme mobility for a lot of their use cases anyway. Like they kind of have people sitting down and like on a couch and stuff, or like at a coffee table. I kind of feel that's for a reason. So, yeah, another thing I want to talk about, because like I thought this was kind of an interesting tidbit, because we're starting to see a lot of the native apps. Like there's more than 200 native apps on day one for the Vision Pro, and obviously they're not games, very, very different type of software. But even Microsoft, which shocked me, they brought the entire suite of Microsoft Office apps, including Microsoft Teams, PowerPoint, Office, and Word, all of it, native apps, day one. Like more effort than they even did for Meta, surprisingly, which is wild to me, because they had the CEO of Microsoft go on that Connect saying we have a very deep partnership, and then when they finally released those Office apps, it's a shortcut to open up a browser page to the I did not expect that. That's freaking wild to me that even Microsoft is dipping their toes into the Apple Vision ecosystem a bit.
Yeah, maybe that's the difference between a gaming device and a spatial computing productivity device.
Right.
Because the Microsoft did get the cloud gaming working on the Quest, and that matters to Quest users.
That's true. Yep. That's a good point. That's a very good point. So, yeah, I guess I think Ben Lang did a tweet that like I kind of agree with. It's like Vision Pro is he calls Vision Pro. So he's someone who's tried it like multiple times. He does feel it's like a spatial computer, and he kind of equivalents the Quest as like a spatial gaming console. And I think that's what it is. These are very kind of different devices and what they're trying to do right now. So I think it's okay. I think it's good to have this kind of differences right now.
One of the things I liked, I just saw a review just the other day by Jeff Keighley, who has tried it, and it was interesting to hear from his perspective, because he is more of a gamer kind of perspective. He doesn't normally do tech reviews, but he was like, I want to do this one because it's super cool, and if you really want to hear a different perspective, I would go check out his video, because I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, I'll watch that. It's on it's on Twitter, isn't it? Did he post it on YouTube?
I thought I might have caught the link from Twitter, but I thought it was a YouTube video, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, I caught it on Twitter. Just look up Jeff Keighley on Twitter. Find it. It was a good video. He did a good job with it.
It was quite interesting that you brought up accessories anyway, like an overhead strap, because something that I always get asked is what VR accessories I'm using on different headsets. So like with you guys, for your favorite headsets, like your go-to headsets mostly, what accessories do you have, if any, that you'd recommend, starting with Alex VR?
So this is kind of interesting, because the Quest 1 and the Quest 2, the second I pulled those things out of the box and put them on my face, I knew I was not going to be happy until I replaced half of that thing. And with Quest 1 and the Quest 2, I replaced the facial interface and the head strap situation quickly. I had the VR cover one for the first Quest, which was like really nice, actually. I loved that. And then with the Quest 2, I rocked the Bobo and a VR cover. With the Quest 3, I've actually not felt the need to replace either the facial interface or the head strap.
You're jock strapping it?
Wow.
I've been jock strapping it this whole time.
Wow.
And like, I do think that my experience would improve slightly if I had the Bobo, but it wasn't like this, oh my God, I can't use this thing with the stock stuff, which was the case with the Quest 1 and the Quest 2. So really the only accessory I have right now for my Quest 3, which is my daily driver, is the RGB light up Kiwi vertical stand. which I actually just set up today for the first time, just because I knew we were going to be talking about some accessories, and I was like, oh, I have this thing. I should set it up. And it seems really
How do you like
quality.
it?
It seems really quality. It's like heavy, way heavier than I thought it would be. Like the base is super heavy. And you can like charge it with this little cable that's hooked up to it. I personally am not a huge fan of RGB stuff. I've kind of come to realize, like, I think it looks great in the background of a video if you do that way, but most of the time I'm sitting in front of a green screen anyway, so I don't need that kind of stuff for my background. And it just like when I turn off all the lights in my computer room, it like I just like have this glow of light constantly coming from this room still. So I end up always turning these things off. So I may not even use the RGB functionality of it, but it's a nice display stand, and that's my story.
Nice.
Stick
What
into it.
about you, Skeever?
All right, so my daily driver is still my Velvet Dex, right? It's what I spend most of my time in, and that needs no accessory. Literally, the only accessory I have on there is the cloth VR cover. So I can easily take it off, throw it in the wash machine, put it back on after it dries.
Who doesn't have these things, man? Like who?
Yeah,
It's so many.
yeah,
of them,
I love
man.
them. I love them. But my second most used headset right now is the Quest 3, and on that I have the Bobo M3 Mini, which I absolutely love. I do have the Pro, and I used it for a while, and I do like it as well. But the M3 Mini is phenomenal for me. It just works with my face perfectly. But my most loved accessory for it are my Real Optics prescription lenses, right? Because I hate, like, when you have glasses, right, and you shove them into a headset, the IPD, like the correct sweet spot of your glasses, rarely matches up with the one of the lenses, right? So not only are you trying to find the sweet spot of the lenses, but you're trying to line up your eyes to your glasses to the lenses. And most of the time, you're not even going to notice until you get prescription lens inserts in your headset, and you're like, whoa, my headset just went super HD, right? And it just looks absolutely phenomenal. So that is my most, I think my favorite thing that I have for my headset. I've bought those things for every headset I think I've ever had. I've gotten maybe 2 pairs free, but I've bought probably 6 right for different headsets. When they come in, I just immediately order them because they're like just critical for me. And then I also have the AMVR grips for my controllers, which I really like too, so I don't launch my controllers across the room. They're super comfortable. So that's my thing.
Fantastic. Thank you. What about you, Brad? Got anything?
Full body tracking probably is like my favorite accessory ever created for VR. So like Vive trackers, Tender trackers for my use case. I don't know. It always, whenever I'm in a VR social experience and I don't have full control of my body, even if I'm just sitting or laying down, just feels like something's missing. Like there's really like a piece of me that I just don't have anymore. So that's my answer. Very, very simple but expensive accessory, obviously. But yeah.
Nice.
I just got a set
ask
of.
you? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Alex.
I was just going to say I just got a set of Vive trackers. Actually, like I've never had them, and I just got some.
You won them.
I did win them, beating Eric.
Win them. I came in second.
Eric's like, son of a bitch.
Hey,
You came in second,
there
but-
was 15 people, man. I'll accept me. And
You came in second, but by
coming in
how
second.
far is my question? Like,
I was close.
just
I think it was like literally like
I don't know. I don't.
milliseconds.
I don't know
Do you
about
straps
that.
for them yet?
Yeah, actually, it came with straps and battery packs, Rebuff Reality battery packs. Like it's like the full kit and caboodle. Shout out to Brandon from HTC.
Heck yeah, nice.
What's up, Brandon?
Man, so there is very few things that like really, so first time I put on VR, I was blown away. I had hands. I felt like I was in the experience. The first time I put on full body tracking, something in my brain just clicked and I was like, oh my God, I'm here. Like I'm really here. And it's just the most immersive thing I think I've ever experienced. But what's funny is the most unimmersive thing I ever experienced are people wearing full body tracking that are like sitting down or lying down and they're just kind of flying around in a seated position, or like they're laying down and their legs are spread out and they're just kind of floating around the room. It's kind of funny because I mean, let's be real. We when we go into social VR, we spend a lot of time in there. It's pretty rare I'll go into, like, let's say Resonate and spend less than like 4 hours in there, right? So, and I can't stand that whole time, man. It's just like it'll just ruin me. I'll be punching my ceiling. I'll be like, it's not great. So I do want to sit a lot, and then because of that, I often don't put on my full body trackers. But I find it interesting that it's the most immersive thing like ever until someone else is sitting down, and then it's the most unimmersive thing.
Cool. What about you, Wes? Do you still use the G2?
Yeah, I do and I do without any kind of accessory. I don't really need any accessories. It's got integrated audio. The head strap and facial interface are really comfortable. So I don't really need any accessories for my daily drivers. I do use the Bobo M3 strap on my Quest 3, mainly because of the ability to hot swap the batteries, but it does add a bit of comfort as well. But no, I don't use a ton of accessories, and the ones that I do use, it's to make standalone VR usable. My daily drivers, my G2, my PSVR 2 don't really need accessories. Although I will say that the PSVR 2 could use a good audio accessory. Like the earbuds aren't good enough. The place where the headphone jack is on the thing it's a pain in the ass to try to put headphones on when you're in there. So someone needs to develop a good over the ear audio thing that attaches to it. But besides that, I don't really use a lot of accessories.
If I may, can I jump in here real quick? Because I hate the Quest 3 headset for wearing headphones. Like the port is on the wrong side of that thing. Like on all of my headphones, my cable comes out of the left side, but the port's on the right side of the headset. So I have like a 2.5-inch auxiliary cable that I've used for all my previous Quests. So it just goes from my headphones straight into my Quest, no dangling, no loose cable or anything. But now I have to use a long cable and like put it in the back of my shirt so I can get it to the other side of the Quest. So does anybody have a solution for this? Like, is there like a cable that I can order that makes sense, or what? What is everybody doing?
So
I just don't use headphones with it, honestly.
I'm going to suggest the wireless earbuds from Prism XR. They're by far my favorite audio solution for
the
thing.
Quest. There's no latency.
No, it comes with a special dongle you plug in that removes the latency. I mean, obviously there's got to be some kind of latency probably, but it's completely unnoticeable.
And it has power pass through that dongle too. So if you need to plug the battery in for like a Bobo or something, you can still do that with the dongle.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, you can plug into the wall.
You can also pair just the earbuds without that dongle in, to your phone or whatever, and use those on both if you'd like, and they come with the little thing that you put the wireless earbuds in that charge them. It's just a great set. I really like the Prism XR earbuds.
Nice. What about you, Eric? What have you got? What's your comfort mods for your one or two most used headsets?
I was using this one forever on my Quest 3. Bobo M3, really great. I have about 10 of these batteries, so it's amazing to be able to switch it out, but I took it off. And I took it off because I am an elite user, and Kiwi makes a battery that is so comfortable, man. This thing is probably one of the most comfortable elite straps I've ever put on. The thickness of the top strap's amazing. The back pad is great. The battery's actually been pretty good for me. But there's no swap in it. That's the problem. So it's like a trade-off. Like if I'm gonna go long periods of time, I'll just snap the Bobo back on. And if I'm gonna go play for like 3, 4, 5 hours, if I'm only gonna go in for a couple hours, I can use this, the Kiwi, because this is the most comfortable thing I have, man. It's just I just prefer an elite strap over this style of head strap. I know some people like
M3 Mini is that Kiwi style. Just
Yep, it's closer. I have that too. It's still not as comfortable for me as the Kiwi, but I probably will end up going to that for like instead of this for the long period of times that I like to play. If I'm going to play 5-6 hours and where I need to keep switching it out. But I would say the other thing I like, this is actually made by Meta. This is the Meta straps. They're actually really nice. They actually they connect right into the battery door. Can't really use it without these things for me. I mean, I have a ton more, but those are probably the ones I would say the most.
That's what I want, the grips. It's the only thing I've been able to find, because once you get the official dock, a lot of the grips, because they go into the battery compartment, you can't use them. So yeah, what about you, Roots?
This is it.
It's a bottle of Coke.
Yeah, that was a bottle of Coke. Right here, this is my accessory for my Quest Pro. That's it.
And what is
a
it?
top strap?
Top strap, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, because before that, it was actually it was very uncomfortable. And once I put this thing on here, amazing how much one strap can make. Other than that, I don't need anything for the Quest Pro, and it's the only headset I use. I agree with what Wes said, that the PSVR 2 doesn't need any accessories, at least except for what he said. I would love to have a audio solution, but there's not one. So
yeah.
For the PSVR 2, their Bobo came out with off-ear headphones that strap directly to your PSVR 2.
Really,
I need those.
There you go. Hook us up, Bobo.
I was-
Let me check that shit out.
Yeah, you should, man. So two things that are spotted in the chat. Yeah, I did review the AP2 earphones that you guys are talking about for the PSVR 2. And there was something else. Oh, and they're going to unveil a new head strap tomorrow.
I saw
Really?
that.
For the PSVR 2? I haven't seen that.
It's not for
That's
PSVR.
cool.
I don't think it is PSVR 2. I think it's called an S3, and I think it's for Quest.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant for PSVR 2.
No.
Okay. So a new. I mean, what are you going to do with a head strap now to make it new? Like, where do you think it goes?
I don't know. I
What do you
mean,
do at this
I know
point?
they need to do their batteries, don't they? Because the batteries are running out.
right?
Yeah.
It's probably a thing for the batteries, because they're having a hard time keeping up with the voltage requirements, I guess.
Yeah.
You continually charge the Quest 3 with it'll keep it where it is. So if you charge your Quest 3, you put a Bobo battery on there, it's just going to stay where it is. But if you are down to nothing, it won't usually charge with the battery on there. It'll just hold it where it is. So I'm guessing that's probably what they're addressing. I hope they are, because they need to fix that.
What was I going to
Definitely.
show you? I was going to show you this. So I haven't actually endorsed an AMVR product for a very long time. For some reason, I don't think I liked something they did many years ago, and I just thought it was crap. But anyway, they have sent me a new gasket and an ice silk cotton
Ooh.
inside pad.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, boys, it is so bloody comfy.
I thought it was PU leather, so it's not leather. It's just like
no. So
like
in the box you get the leather one.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then you get this called an ice silk. So I don't know if you tried the cool gel from VR Cover. Yeah,
It did. It was cool.
it was cool. And this is the same, but this silk cover is gorgeous, mate. Like he's actually the first one out of the few that I've been sent that I actually will probably promote. It's just lovely as well. And the other thing is, with the original gasket covers for people who are using like the glasses spacer, the slider here was fucking shit. It was breaking easy and all this stuff. So another thing AMVR have done is they've made it like a selector, quite a stern selector. I don't know if you'll be able to see that in there. So yeah, it's quite a rigid thing, you know. There's 3 grooves, bob, bob, bob. There's no way it could ever come out again. It's pretty good ventilation. So yeah, I was like, do you know what? AMVR, I'm pleased. They've done that. So yeah, I got VR Rock.
That's great.
Yeah, it is, man. It is because I think with the Bobo cover, I was quite with the M3. I think with it, like when we were talking about pressure and stuff, I think with it taking a lot of pressure on, taking weight because it's on the forehead, on the back of the head. You got these little ears here on the top. This is the M3 Pro, by the way. I think everyone pretty much is happy with the M3 Pro at the moment. That combination was pretty good. And then I got VR Rock lenses for blue light. That's about it, really.
It doesn't need a whole bunch, man. That's one thing, you know, like even the VR cover, like dude, for me, like Quest 1, Quest 2, VR cover was almost a must. Like, I don't think you could almost wear it without the VR cover.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I haven't even thought about changing the facial interface on the Quest 3. I think they, as bad as the first one was, and it was like irritating people's faces on Quest 2, I think this one they've actually did a decent job on the facial interface.
Yeah, I did.
I would
did.
replace it. I just haven't, like it just like hasn't been like a need. Like
Yeah.
before it was like, yo, I can't put this on my face
can't do
like
it,
this. But I can absolutely wear the Quest 3. I would replace it, and maybe I'll hit up AMVR because
after
it's been
seeing
some
how
years.
comfortable that looks really comfortable, GT. Now I have to get it. Oh wait, that's
Yeah.
for Quest 3. They probably don't do the Quest Pros, right?
No
Slamming
one,
it with the
yeah,
Pro.
no one cares about a Pro. Do they?
Nobody
And-
gives shit about
I
it.
think Globular Cluster is the only one who made some stuff for the Quest Pro.
Oh, did they? I was just going to say Globular Cluster for the PSVR 2.
Yeah.
So if you've got a PSVR 2, again, VR Rock lenses. They I think in the end, from launch to like a month or a month and a half ago, they sent me 3 different versions of lenses to get to the point where I said, yeah, I'll show them. Because one minute they were touching my nose and they weren't, like they've got a cut out here and everything. Those lenses are cool, but the Globular Cluster has been a really cool head strap for PSVR 2. So yeah, that is, I think, everyone's accessories. That is all, isn't it? Everyone smashed it.
That's it.
So I guess the only last thing I wanted to talk about was bad games. And I think Wes, right at the beginning of the show, said it's a reason for me to call out a particular game. But I'm not going to. But it did remind me of the situation. But then Mash brought up a really good point. He was like, how bad games affect our industry, I guess, and how certain games probably should just wait. Like, don't release this stuff. But I guess the question comes in: who's playtesting it? Who's mock reviewing it? Where's can I use Bulletstorm? Can I use it? Am I allowed?
Go for it, bro. It's your channel.
What did you think of it?
I didn't play a lot of it. I only played I played less than 2 hours of it, and it's not my favorite game, but I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was pretty average.
Yeah.
Obviously it could have used a little bit more time in the oven. Definitely not a $40 game, but it was all right. I enjoyed it. I didn't have a bad time with it.
Wait, that game is $40.
It's $40, yeah. Like 5-hour game, $40.
The thing is, like, I think actually Wes is spot on, and I think the more if he played it longer, he'd get more bored of it, to be honest. But an average game is actually correct. Yeah, average is 5 out of 10. Yeah, let's call it a 5 out of 10. The problem was, and PSVR 2 actually ended up being technically the safest version on a technical level. PC was getting fatal crashes. The Quest version is abysmal. Like, it's so bad. If you want to see the sort of game, like I don't know how it got into the store as it did. It's unbelievable to see in a headset. And I don't just mean that from like a graphical perspective. It's the effects. It's effects. And the AI is just stupid on all platforms. But yeah, just like 3D effects only in one eye, frame drops, square smoke. There's just
I didn't see any of that. I didn't play it on Quest. I didn't play it on PC either. I only played the PSVR 2 version of it.
yeah.
But yeah, I didn't see any of that weird stuff that you're talking about.
But yeah, it was just a boring game in general. But it was such a shame because I think a lot of people were really excited for it. But anyway,
yeah,
That's the problem. Like, to me, like, bad games have their place in gaming. You know what I mean? Like, people put out bad games and flat games all the goddamn time. But the ones that are hyped, the ones that are talked about, the ones that are like supposed to be good need to be good, right? And Bulletstorm is, I think, an example of that. Like, people talked about Bulletstorm for months, like months, stoked for this thing to come out, and then it just completely falls short of everybody's expectations. Like, it's the expectation setting You know, like I think Firewall did the same thing. You know, they're like promoting this game like it's going to be the most fucking amazing thing that anybody's ever played, you know, and like we want to believe that, so we do, and then we play it and it is not the most amazing thing we've played. In fact, it's far from it. So it's I think it's about like setting the proper expectations for these experiences sometimes, you know, and like because, you know, like we've talked about on the show before, sometimes bad games actually, if you do them in the right way, can give you really fun experiences. You know, like you go into a janky game with your homies, before you know it, you're all laughing, you know, rolling on the ground about some of the crap that you've seen in there, you know? So I think it's a matter of like these games being overhyped and like making promises that they can't deliver on.
Yeah, and I
absolutely
think
right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I
was gonna say you're
right. Hold on a minute.
You go.
Hold on a minute. Roots, who's going to speak? Roots, who do you think should speak?
I think Wes was ready to go.
Oh, that's fine. He likes Wes more than you, Mesh.
No, I was just going to make it.
I love Eric.
I was just going to make a quick point that Alex is absolutely right. It's all about the expectation. For example, I mean, most people will tell you that Bulletstorm VR is a bad game, but if you ask them about a game like Dick Wild 2, which is an old like rail shooter game from back in the day, most people say, you know what? I had fun with Dick Wild 2, and I thought it was a pretty fun game. The fact of the matter is if you put both of those games next to each other and ask me which one I want to play, I'd probably rather play Bulletstorm. It's probably a better game, but the expectations were there for Bulletstorm. They weren't for Dick Wild 2. So I just want to back up what Alex said, and said it was a pretty good point. That's all.
Yeah. I was just going to state that to me, it's just a mindset change for the developers now. They have to change the thinking, just because a lot of them are, you know, still thinking that, you know, the days of early access, like I can release my game and have it be broken and have it be, you know, have it be uninspired and have it be not good, and people will buy it because there's nothing else to buy. You know, we did that 5 years ago. Like literally there was nothing else to buy. So we played shit because that's the best we had. You know, that's not the case anymore. You know what I mean? You can't, if you give me crumbs, I'll eat crumbs if there's nothing else. But if you give me a steak, I'm not going to eat the crumbs. And that's the problem now. There's so many other things to play that people won't play, nor they should play unfinished, broken, janky messes of a game that are uninspired and boring. And that's what's going to happen. And what happens is you can't launch anymore like that. You have to put thought into, is this game ready to launch? I get one chance at this. Is this game ready to launch? I'm talking to you, Micro Machines. Is this game ready to launch? Is this an inspired game? Is this different?
They went under, didn't they? They went under.
They're gone. That's what happens now, though. These teams don't have those luxuries. It's not the same as flat gaming, because you know why? Because a lot of those flat teams can have bad games, have launches that go bad and still survive. A lot of these other VR teams can't. They can't afford a bad launch. So you need to think about what you're doing before you do it. Is this game ready to launch? Is it good? Will people want to play it? And then
is it even a good game? Is it even worth being made? That's the problem too. People are making games that suck in general. It could be the best game in the world, and you're played the best, and it still sucks. So, yeah, I agree.
Well, a game is like a blend of mechanics and art. You know what I mean? And like some games are like 99% mechanics and 1% art, and they're amazing. And some games are 99% art and 1% mechanics, and they're also amazing. So I think you're hitting the nail on the head when you use the word uninspired. Like these games have to come from a place of like authenticity and passion in order to be worth experiencing. And it doesn't have to be the most engaging game if it's artistic, and it doesn't have to be the most artistic game if the physics and the engine and everything that's fun about it is done well. So I think developers maybe need to like take a look at like why they're doing this. Like what's the purpose? Like why are you even making this game? You know, like think about the intention behind what you're doing, and like hopefully tap into something authentic so that way it's worthwhile for people.
And play test. Why aren't you people play testing? It's the easiest thing.
Yeah, and don't have family members play test. They're going to tell you the game's great. You know what I mean? That's the dumbest thing in the world. A lot of the developers will go to other people because they don't want to go outside of their unit. They're going to go to people they know. Well, guess what? They're probably not going to be unbiased. They're not going to tell you maybe what you need to hear. You need to go outside of that bubble. Go find some people that know what they're talking about, play the game, and give you your honest opinions and feedback, and then fix it. You know what I mean? How many times I couldn't even tell you how many times we've told developers you have issues with your game, and they're like, okay, thanks, and they launch it anyway,
Yeah,
and then they're
fix it.
like, oh man, I'm sorry, I thought, how come
I
nobody's
think it's because
supporting
they
my
can't
game?
fix it. I think it's
Maybe.
because they don't have what it takes. Like, and it sucks because I can only imagine how actually difficult it is to pull off something worthwhile in a VR game, let alone any kind
Right.
of game or software or program. But like VR game specifically is even tougher, and you're trying to, sell something in a niche. Like it's very, very difficult. I get it, and I'm say this with as much sympathy to that as possible, but there are varying levels of skills between these
Right.
teams. Like people think that if you're a developer, you can do what every other developer can do. And that's just not the reality of it. I think that there are developers who wish they could do stuff, who try to do things. They say, okay, here's an idea. And then they try it, and now it runs even worse. And they're like, damn it. Okay, back to the drawing board. And like, eventually they just run out of time and money, and they have to fucking send it. They have to ship it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, somewhat like one of the things I get worried about is just having faith. It's like a quality of insurance from Meta and PlayStation. Like I just feel there's nothing. It's not there anymore. That I don't like that. I don't like the idea of that. The early access is one thing. App Lab, side quest, cool. Do what you want. But when it comes to like a $40 game, with pre-orders, you're like, I don't know, man. It's just someone surely at PlayStation should have. Well, not necessarily PlayStation. Someone at Meta really should have got hold of that game and gone, is this a good game? Like, we're asking our people to spend $40 because people can lose faith in a system. Going back to the game market crash of the 80s, that's purely like just people just making trash, just like throwing out any old trash. And I don't want VR to be that way. I don't want, and that's honestly what Bulletstorm felt like on Quest. It was that bad for me.
Well, the good news is, well, not for these developers, but the ones that suck so bad, they're going under, and like it's sink or swim. Like you said, no, not everybody can make a game, right? So like not everybody can make a good game. Not everybody should make a game. I could go make a game and it would suck. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I mean? So
I
like,
think you made a good game, Roots.
I just feel, and I could probably maybe come up with some good ideas.
It
I
would
just
suck,
feel like
Bruce.
I feel like that people just need to if you don't have the capabilities, and just it's sad to say, but maybe you shouldn't be making games. Like there's companies out there that shouldn't be out there, and this is going to keep happening.
Way more. It's going to grow exponentially. Like I don't know when the last time you put an eyeball on the eShop for the Nintendo Switch, but at any given time, there's 2,500 titles on sale. Not even like across the whole store, just like on sale, 2,500 things to browse. So like as the platform grows, like so will all of this. You know what I mean? Like there will be more and more and more terrible games that continue to enter the space. And like by all means, as far as I'm concerned, and I'll just bring it back to what I was saying earlier, it really is about the expectations of the game that's coming out. And then Wes, your Dick Wild 2 example is a great point. So I think as long as that's happening, and like also Mash, you made a great point earlier too, and you said that like before every single thing that came out was worth our time because there was like nothing else going on. But now that's not really the case. There's so many games coming out all the time that while it's still small in comparison to like a console or like PC gaming, for us it's more than we can handle. Like you couldn't possibly review every single game. Like you don't have time. And it's not worth your time. So again, I think there's a place for these types of experiences, and I want people to like feel like if they're inspired to go make something, just to do it, and like not worry about like poisoning the well, so to speak. But as long as we're setting the proper expectations of the releases and like, what you're getting yourself into when, you're either buying the game or you're putting it up and you're making sure everybody knows what they're getting themselves into, then I don't see it as too big of an issue, too big of a problem.
Alex, you were saying earlier that games are part art, part mechanics. I'm going to say that they're all art, and those mechanics are their own art, right? The people who make a lot of the different mechanics, the people who make the sound design, the textures, the 3D models, these are a bunch of artists coming together and making something collectively that they think is for them is their art, right? And it's a bummer to sit here and be like, your art sucks, you know, and that stinks. At the same time, a lot of the art unfortunately does suck. But I will tell you that there's a lot of devs out there though that play their own game and they're like, this is amazing. It's real, like they truly, with all of their heart, believe what they made is incredible
and unique
out there.
Yeah.
And then we play it and we're like, oh no.
This was done 4 years ago. Better.
Well, compare it to musicians, right? Like maybe you're some kid who absolutely loves rock and roll and you listen to rock and roll all the time. And one day you're like, I wish I could play guitar. God damn it, I'm going to. So you go buy a guitar and you teach yourself and you do your best and you're trying your best and you write an album and you record it and you put it out. And yeah, it totally sucks, especially compared to all of the stuff that's getting played on the radio. But there's a place for that. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that's okay. I think it's good that people like get inspired and want to express themselves through these types of projects, you know,
but my issue is that same kid here's what developers are doing. That same kid who is not good when he releases 2 weeks later comes out and plays masterfully. That's the problem I have, is the laziness of the release. And then I'll fix it later. And then they come back and they try and fix it later, or they have something ready to go instead of just pausing. And I know it's hard. These are hard decisions, but what I'm saying is now is the time that you have to adjust. Developers have to adjust. Timing is different now. You cannot just release those broken, half-finished games. You have to give yourself time to make sure that your game is good when it launches. And you can't, that whole idea, well, I'll patch it 3 weeks or a month from now, doesn't happen with most games. There's a few that people will still go back to afterwards, but it won't happen with everyone.
Yeah,
it won't. But you know, I'm gonna say this part of it too, is that game development is one of those, especially when you're starting and you don't have any really good games that you've published before, is one of the only businesses that you need to work years and years, typically years and years. Some people, you know, it's months or a year with no pay, right? You raise the money somehow, some way, and if that money runs out, you either throw the whole thing in the trash or you release and you hope enough people buy it that at that point you can go in and you can try to fix it. But I mean, at that point, it's kind of a lose-lose. You're either going to throw it in the trash, or you're going to put it out and you're going to cross your fingers, you know, that it'll be enough of it that you can continue your studio. And it's a tough, brutal business. The game development business is brutal. And I have mad respect for everyone that tries. And it just sucks that you can't, you know, not everyone can be good at everything. And, you know, it is definitely a bummer.
You know who is pretty good at everything?
Micro Machines, one of the worst games I've ever played. And it stinks because you know that place, that IP must have gone out and hired some game developers that they, you know, were sold would do a really good job, and they just completely destroyed that game.
Yeah, they stole the IP and they just mailed it in. Those are the ones that bother me the most. Like, they could have made a good they would have been, Micro Machines would have been better off going to the TrackCraft people and putting Micro Machines label on TrackCraft. It would have been a huge.
Yes, they would have crushed it, man. That is such an incredible game. How is TrackCraft so good
and Micro Machines so bad? Good? It's because to me, that's the lazy part of the development. They went with a team that was like, I'm going to sell my game on whatever the IP is because people will buy it no matter what. And then they puke it out there and it dies. And then all of a sudden they go under.
Did you say Nerf? Say Nerf?
Yeah, exactly. Nerf is a perfect example.
I liked Nerf though. What the hell happened to it? Apart from the fact that it's a bit weird, like shooting those guns with darts and stuff. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It had wall running. It had loads of really cool mechanics, and it just, no one wanted to play Nerf on. Oh, no one wanted to play a Nerf game. I don't think.
It's crazy how fast that shut down. Like, that went down faster than First Contact.
But I think the flat game as well didn't do well. I think the whole thing just didn't do well. You know, it's a toy franchise. It's not, and I think obviously you can say, I can't say that it doesn't work because that's what Transformers was. It was a toy brand. It was marketing. It was marketing a product. So I assume they wanted to market Nerf guns in video games. Don't know, because no one cared. But
right. Yeah, you're actually probably hitting the nail on the head there. It was probably like a marketing incentive of some kind, and then they were like,
that's normally what it is. If there's a physical property that exists, it's normally a crossover in some way, and if one predates the other. Normally that's the kind of what happens. Man Bear Pig Game Cat with the $2 donation saying, I love you guys as VR enthusiasts. He just wanted to put it there as VR enthusiasts, but as great people as well. Oh, thanks, man.
Oh, that's nice.
Appreciate that. And then here he is again, Man Bear Pig Game Cat with another $2 donation. Thank you ever so much. I have a solution for you guys. Create a VR company. Funny enough.
Good idea.
Yeah. Funny enough.
That's an excellent idea.
We have done that. So yeah, Mash, Wes, Skiva, they all work for Impact Reality, and I have my own company with 2 other people called XR Game Labs, and we're all basically we do the same thing. We're out there trying to make VR better, basically.
But I'm sure that comment means go start your own game dev studio.
It probably does, but I don't think any of us know how to do that. So
no, absolutely not. And like, that's why I tried to preface it earlier. I'm like, yo, I understand it's hard. Like, and Skiva said, like, you know, mad props to anybody who even tries. Like, but we have to keep it real, you know, because at the end of the day, like, we're gamers. I was a gamer first, and then a VR guy later, you know, so we just have to keep it 100.
Not everybody can do everything. I can't go build a house either. Right. So, you know what I mean? That's what people
that's literally why I'm doing this.
I reckon you could, right?
I could, maybe. Yeah, I could. It would collapse, but I could do it.
The biggest thing is why we say these things is because we come from a spot of we want to see developers succeed. Like, everything that I'm saying here, I'm saying for I hope that there's a developer out there that hears it that goes, all right, I need to maybe relook at this game real quick before I put it out, because I want every game to succeed. And I mean, not every game is going to, but we all do. We all want every game to be great, and you know, that's what we're hoping. Anything we do like this, we're hopeful that it helps in some way.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, because like when I first realized I wanted to be a part of VR, I thought that being a developer was the only way to do it. I was like, okay, great. Well, I guess I'm going to have to learn how to make games because that's what you do to get involved into this stuff. So I like tried, realized that it's literally like learning another language and it's a huge undertaking. And maybe I can find a way to contribute in another way, something that comes more naturally to me, you know, which is like why I'm sitting here right now, you know? So shout out and props to everybody who's making these games. But if they fall short and they disappoint everybody, like, it just is what it is. We got to talk about it.
We got to talk about it. Thank you to Hope for Gorilla for the $5 donation. Do you feel that linear co-op shooters are an undeserved market? And does a game having co-op make you more likely to buy and try? I can answer that.
Helps.
I can do the last one. Co-op.
Yes.
A good game shared is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hard agree.
It's the reason why I love the original Arizona Sunshine so much, because no other games were really doing that, and that one did. So that was the game that I played with everyone, you know.
Another reason why Farpoint on the original PlayStation VR was so badass. Because you could do some co-op in that game, and man, was that fun.
That game was fantastic.
I loved it.
We love VR because we feel like we're there, right? It's super immersive, right? When you go, let's say you go on vacation or you go out to see something really cool. How often do you do that alone? It's kind of a bummer, right? You go to like Hawaii or something and you get off the plane, you're like, hey, no one to share it with. You're like, man, it sucks, right?
Hey, everyone.
Yeah. You need to go in there and share these awesome experiences with your friends and the other people. That's kind of the whole point of virtual reality is the realism and being there. But to be there, you got to share these things with other people. That's part of reality. You know, life would suck if it were only a one-player game. So
definitely. Do you know? Do you know who'd like it to be a one-player game though?
Actually, she would be very upset.
She likes multiplayer.
She could play with herself.
Multiple multiplayer.
But she does enjoy.
She's a massively multiplayer game. If you know what I mean.
She likes multiple experiences.
I'll tell you before we close up. Talking about co-op, then, what are your favorite co-op VR games? Quickly, what are the games that you've played and you thought like? I'm assuming. I mean, Brad like goes beyond VR co-op. He's like he literally has how many people? What's the most amount of people you can get in VR chat in a space?
60 is usually the max.
60. That's
You
amazing.
can go past that sometimes as well. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I recently joined an alpha for Contractor Showdown, and I think that was 45 or 48, something like that.
Yeah,
that was so good. Like, that's where I love Population 1, but I don't think anyone would argue that it falls short, because you just don't see that many people sometimes on the map, you know. So yeah, Showdown was very cool. So yeah, let's start. Who wants to go first with their favorite co-op VR games?
Mine and Roots are going to be the same, I think.
What? It Takes Two?
It Takes Two.
Do you know what's weird, Mash? When you look down, it looks like you're looking at Roots.
At Roots down there
in the window. He's to that. He's that way. You look
like
down.
Brady Bunch. This is like a Brady Bunch moment.
Yeah, Brady Bunch.
Though. Not on the show though.
Oh,
just
is it on the
your
show?
screen.
Oh,
No.
okay.
On my screen, it looked like to the podcast, it looked like Mash just looking at him. Like, yeah. So
I think I'll let Roots speak for himself, but for me, I had one of the. If you're talking about a co-op experience that makes it feel like you need two people to complete something, and we're not talking about like multiplayer where there's many people, a co-op where it's two people and you need both people to play, that was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. That one, and what was the other one? No Way Out?
Yeah, same developers.
No Way Out.
So with it Takes Two, like I've played it on my PlayStation before.
On VR.
Yeah, I know.
UEVR.
Takes Two isn't.
You can
UEVR.
Oh, you fucking cheaters.
So let me ask this. So I've played it on my PlayStation as a split screen experience.
Right.
What happens when you add UEVR to the mix?
It forces it into a full screen, and so you're going to even more. You can't see what the other person's doing. So it's actually going to make it a little bit more.
But how do you play co-op? Like, are they on the monitor and you're in the headset, like, or are you connecting on like a server or something?
No, I mean, it's your like when you make a game, they join your own individual game, like the way it's designed typically. So even if you could both be in VR or not, I guess, I don't know.
So it's like you play online with someone then.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So it's like a online thing, but it's just you two. So there's no cheat engines or anything like that.
Got it.
So. But yeah, no, it's what Mash said is absolutely correct. It's the best co-op game I've ever played, because you have to work together, and I've never had so much fun. I'm laughing so hard because I'm throwing these nails up that Mash has to spin his character on to get across, and then I'm accidentally yanking the nails down as he's ready to grab it, and it just I don't know. It was just a very fun time.
I'm loving seeing everyone's suggestions in the chat, and this track is bringing up some old games, dude. VR the Diner Duo. I actually made that video of my daughter.
Wow, I don't think I've ever played that.
You probably wouldn't, man. There'd be no point now. I mean, it's so old. Like, no, and everyone would just be like, "Why is he playing this?"
From Other Sons is a good one though. From
Other Sons come up. The Forest is fantastic, actually.
So my like very high level, like you should definitely do this one answer is After the Fall. I have never had so much fun as with friends in After the Fall. Like, it is so good, especially if you've never played it before. Like, and the maps are fresh. God, you have to play that game on PC. But the deep cut that I want to bring up is Carly and the Reaper Man, which is a asymmetrical game. Somebody plays on the monitor and the other person puts on the headset, and this is on the same machine. So like you run the game, one person's on the computer monitor, the other person's on the headset, and you are doing co-op in the level of which like you need both people to accomplish the levels.
And if you play it on Quest, both players can play in VR over internet connection.
Yeah, it's a really good game. Just like straight up, it's old, but it's as far as a co-op experience goes, don't sleep on Carly and the Reaper Man.
I knew mine instantly. It's been my favorite group game to play, and that'd be Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Such a wonderful game to play with.
It was really fun.
Oh man, like I kind of just wish for some reason that it never came out. And then it come out again. And they just went, here it is on PlayStation VR 2 and Quest 3. I'd be like, woo!
They need a more in-depth version that combines that game with From Other Sons, to where you or you can actually like beam down to the planet and explore and stuff.
Oh,
Can you imagine
dude,
if
yeah, that'd be
like
amazing.
to expand the scope? I think because I think Bridge Crew is some of the best times I've had. Just even with randoms, I've had some amazing journeys on there. So
Yeah,
Just turn it into an MMO.
yeah,
Done.
that'd be cool.
that'd be
Yeah.
cool. A couple more donations need to read out. Evan, $5 donation. GT, does the Quest 3 facial interface you were talking about fit the official charging dock? Great show, gents. Yes, it does. It is resting on my charger right now. Thank you ever so much for that. I hope you enjoy it. Mickey Burr dropping codes throughout the show. Thank you ever so much, dude. Yeah, appreciate you being here as always. Thank you very much for all your support and everything you do for the VR community. And then we have the wonderful Bluebell with a $10 donation and said, love the discussions today. Great job, CruCast.
Great job, guys.
Good
yeah.
job. Cool. Well, thank you for joining us for this episode this week. Hopefully we'll see you next week. I don't know who's available and who isn't. Is there any game shows going on that I need to know about? Anyone, anyone flying anywhere?
Not till March.
Yeah, I think we're clear till South by Southwest and GDC. And I think there was somebody in chat asking who to roll call for GDC. I think it was
John Hibbins.
John Hibbins earlier.
I saw it, and then I
I
lost
love
it.
John. John's amazing. Got a chance to meet him at Gamescom
Awesome
in
guy.
person, and he's just an amazing dude.
He is. He's been actually a little bit instrumental in my VR career, actually. To be honest, there's plenty of times I wanted to give up, or not give up, but like, I don't know, not try as hard, I guess. And he's always been there to be like, he's always believed in me, and he takes me for meals sometimes.
Nice.
That's cool. He really is
He's a lovely
a
dude.
really good dude. Yeah,
He's
really
so
nice.
nice. He's so nice.
Brad.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. It's so good. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comments. Especially thank you for all the donations. And we will see you all next Monday. Take care. Have a great week in VR. Thank you very much. Bye,
See ya.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Be safe. Bye. Bye.